All right, man. Listen, is what it is. We got our guy David Talks Buffs up in here, man. Listen, man, we get the information straight from the source. That's what we do. What's going on, David?
Coach I, Stat Guy, I'm doing wonderful. Thanks again for having me. How are y'all doing today?
Hey, man, good, man. Bowl season in full swing. I think we got a game today. If I'm not mistaken, it might be Georgia Tech or somebody, but I'll be tuned in just just because it's football, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of winding down, and now it's time for all the off-season talk where everybody thinks they're gonna make the 12-team playoff.
We're one of them.
This is the time. If you can't believe it in the off-season, then it definitely probably ain't happening for you in the end season, right?
That's right. That's right.
Listen, man, Colorado, no stranger to the media, top media stories, and I think it's going to stay that way long as Sanders is your head coach, which it probably be for. I think from what he says, he's going to be there for a minute. I can only go by what the man's telling me.
That's right. That's right. We just got to enjoy it, man. I'm hoping that it's a long time, but hey, we've been down for so long, man. And enjoying every day that we're in the headlines.
Big
Riding the
facts.
emotional roller coaster. It's way better riding these ups and downs than feeling apathetic, man.
Right, right. So man, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about some key returners. You know what I'm saying? I know Shadur and Travis Hunter are top of those lists. I'm at the assumption that Jimmy Horn Jr. and Xavier Weaver are coming back as well.
No, Zay
Mm,
Weaver is out of eligibility, so he will be going to the NFL draft. So,
mm.
that was why I don't wanna get too far ahead. That's why Will Shepherd was so important for us,
Got you. Got
getting.
you. Got you.
But Jimmy Horn will be returning. He's huge. Alt McCaskill ended up taking a redshirt year again, still coming off that ACL that he had at
Hmm.
Houston. And yeah, we got some younger guys in the secondary that I would like to see take the next jump. Of course, Cormani McLean is one of those guys and ended up getting a lot more time on the outside in the second half of the season. DeSoto, high school player, um, safety Jaden Milner Jones.
Hmm.
He had how I felt was a very good freshman year in limited playing time. So we might see a little bit more from him. Uh, as well as a defensive line transfer that we brought in this past year that I thought improved a great bunch over the season, which is Amari McNeil, an inside defensive tackle. So, yeah, we handful of guys, but the players that you mentioned, the ones that I added on, those are players that I definitely have my eyes on to be
Is
key contributors this next year.
Shiloh going to the draft, or did he have a COVID year? Anything left hanging around?
Oh, yes. Thank you for that stat guy. Yes. Shiloh will be returning because of that COVID year. Yeah. So
Mm.
we'll get the whole Sanders family, excuse me, together one more year. And then Shador and Shiloh go off to the NFL. We'll see kind of where Shiloh ends up in the shuffle, but I think right now things are looking pretty good for Shador being drafted day one.
Yeah, I think Shiloh actually helped his draft status this past
Hmm.
year. He was you guys' leading tackler,
Hmm.
from that safety spot. And I think with him returning and the experience, and then of course you got Travis Hunter, like you said, Kermani McLean, whoever, in the rotation, I just think it'll be one of the more formidable secondaries in the conference, if not the nation, with those guys coming back with another year experience of Power
Yeah,
Five
and I forgot
records.
about Omarion Cooper too,
Yeah.
Florida State transfer. He had a good year for us. I think in terms of cornerbacks, I think he graded out as the second highest next to Travis, of course. So yeah,
Yeah. So what about that front seven? Who's coming back in that front seven that should be key?
well, there wasn't much to be excited about when
Right.
when it comes to
Nice.
our returners in the front seven. Probably our best player in the front seven, Jordan Dominic, transfer from Georgia Tech and Arkansas. He's out of eligibility now, so he's going to be going to the NFL.
Mhm.
And yeah, that leaves us a little light when it comes to productive returnees. Again, Amari McNeil on the inside, I think is going to take another jump this year. Arden Walker, a guy who spent a year at Missouri before transferring back home to Colorado. He
Mhm.
was another one of these guys that showed improvement throughout the year, and I think he'll definitely be within the edge rotation that we have. Shane Cokes was a transfer that was brought in from Dartmouth, played defensive end um, uh, in the Ivy League, but I think just because of personnel issues or whatever, he was kind of honestly one of our main guys inside. It's going to be interesting to see if they keep him inside or move him back to kind of more of his natural position there on the end. So those are guys on the defense that I think will be productive from this team last year. But you've seen us attack both both in our small high school signee class right now, as well as the
Yeah.
transfer portal. We've been bringing in a lot of front seven guys, defensive linemen, because that was just on the defensive side of the ball, it was so glaring that we needed to get better there.
Big
Well,
facts, big facts. Go
I
ahead.
was going to
Stat.
say one thing that really helps, and we don't talk about it this way as much. It's normally in the reverse. A really good front seven will protect your secondary when it's young, or if it's just not as good. I do think that y'all are going to have an elite secondary this year, which should help protect y'all's front seven and maybe some of the holes, whether it's younger players or newer guys, kind of cover up some of their misfortunes because how elite y'all are on the back end.
Big facts, big facts.
No
So,
doubt. Oh,
go ahead, Nick.
I was going
Go
to
ahead.
comment real quick just on that. Yeah, I think I think we had a pretty talented secondary this past year, but again, when you're having to guard guys or cover guys for 6, 7, 8 seconds, like that's not just always doable all the time, you know. So I think that we're going to see a little bit more of a balance restored. We're going to have better front seven play this next year, and because of that, the secondary is going to look a lot better, vice versa, no doubt.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the fan at it, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat?